So here comes this thought, this idea, and right along with it, so close with it that you think that it happens simultaneously. You feel the emotion of it, because the emotion of it is the indicator of the gap between the vibration of your thought and the vibration of the thought of the source within you. So when you feel elation, you're right there. There's no gap. You're right there. And that's why you received that thought. That's why that idea was so strong. And unless you do something to add resistance to the idea, you could stay on the wavelength of that idea and you could carry it out to its full fruition. And you know that because you've done that on some occasions. So the thoughts are turning to things. The vibration is turning to thought. Now it's a thought. The question is, how long will that thought sustain? How long will you hold the frequency of this great idea? Well, the answer to that usually lies in how long will it take you to tell somebody else about it who doubts it? Because most of you start talking about your ideas before there is enough momentum in them, so there's no evidence of them. You know those people that you call dreamers, those people that have their head in the clouds, those people who never come to any fruition, but they've always got another great idea. You know why it doesn't come to fruition? You talk them out of it, or others like you. Because you're gauging what their current success is going to be based upon what their past success has been. And since you haven't seen that much success in them or in yourself, then this new idea usually gets squashed. Jerry wrote a paper many years ago. He taught it to people in financial business that he was mentoring to try to help them to begin to believe more in their prosperity. And his paper was entitled, "Keep Your Ideas to Yourself Until They Are Fully Developed." Because he knew people were getting ideas and then they'd talk to other people about them before they had vibrational momentum. And it's so easy to talk yourself out of a really good idea before it has any vibrational momentum. And you know why it doesn't have any vibrational momentum? Because you think about it, but then you think about the absence of it. You kill the momentum with the contradictory thought. Well, cut that out. If you would not do that, if you could find some way to believe in your desires, to believe in your ideas longer, to hold the doubt at bay, to replace the doubt with belief. So what does that require? That requires, first of all, knowing what we just told you, knowing that it is a vibrational reality that will come to fruition, but you've got to coax it along. No. It isn't that you've got to coax it along. You're not the energy that makes it happen. The energy that creates worlds is the energy that makes it happen. You don't have to coax it along. You just have to stop killing it. You just have to be more optimistic, which means in those early stages, usually you want to be more general about it. The more general you are, the less likely you are to introduce resistance to the idea. So here's this vibration that you are now translating into an idea. So you want to do everything you can to keep that idea alive. And if it begins to wane, if it begins to peter out, if it begins to lose its momentum, if you begin to doubt it, it's time for you in that moment to stop talking about it, stop thinking about it. Because at that point, the more you talk about it, the more you introduce more of the contradictory energy to it. You see what we're getting at? Do you know, you could give birth to an idea, never think about it again, and it would come to full fruition. It's just not logical that you won't think about it again. And the things you care about most are the things that you think about most, and the things that you think about most are usually the things that you introduce the most resistance to, because you are worrywarts. So the creative process is 3 steps. The first step is ask, and life causes you to do that. The contrast causes you to know what you want, and you are vibrationally sending the request or the asking. Step 2 is source becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for, lines up with it so powerfully and begins emitting a signal which law of attraction is responding to. Now that's important to know, because as your inner being is offering a signal about all that you have become, the new amended version of you that you added to just recently with this last negative experience that you had that caused you to want something more than you've ever wanted it before, source lines up with that and is emitting a signal. And think about what you know about law of attraction. Law of attraction is responding to that signal. And because law of attraction is responding to that signal, oh, you're going to love this. We've never said this to you before. Because law of attraction is responding to that signal, that's causing a momentum. A path has opened up. Can you get the sense of that? So now, how does the resistance get on that path? Because you're emitting a signal too. You're standing here in the reality that you call life, having your opinions about it, about the same subject that Source has an opinion about, a clear, sure opinion calling you toward it, but you've got an opinion that might not be going with the flow of it. And that's what causes resistance to be upon the path. Because you get to think about things too. You get to think about them. You should think about them. That's how you carved out the desire to begin with. But the moment that you launched the rocket, Source became so on board with that rocket and is calling all cooperative components toward the fulfillment, the culmination, the full manifestation of what you have carved out. The question is, are you a cooperative component? Or are you still doubting? Are you still basing this upon things that you've lived before? So there's that gap, that vibrational variance between who you really are and who you're allowing yourself to be. And understanding that gap, which is evidenced to you by emotion, is the only thing that you ever need to know about the creating of anything, because it is our promise to you. When you launched the rocket, it became a vibrational reality. And now you have every means available to you for you to become in the receptive mode so that you can translate that vibrational reality into the full-fledged, manifested, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it reality. And that, friends, is why you're here in these bodies. Because it is so much fun to decide from your unique and important vantage point what you want. This is what the evolution of all species is about. Life causes you to ask for more. That's what makes us all eternal, you see. And so as you ask and Source answers, and then you pay attention to the way you feel, and you get into the receptive mode, then the ideas begin occurring to you, and you are on this joyous path of never-ending unfolding. You cannot get it wrong, and you never get it done. And the reason you can't get it wrong is because you never get it done. Doesn't matter where you stand. Where you stand is always causing you to ask for something more. And the fact that you've asked for it means Source has already found it and is calling you toward it. And if you will care deeply, we want to say singularly about how you feel. If you will let that be your first priority, then you're going to start having a very good time immediately. And the evidence of your alignment is going to be apparent, not just to you, but to everyone who sees you. So, now you know everything we know. Everything that matters. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. There is nothing off limits. You will notice a wonderful unfolding. As we talk together, sometimes someone else will do a better job of ferreting out for you what you are wanting to know, even than if you were sitting in the chair. So don't worry about whether you get called up or not. As we said to you, your Source knows where you are in relationship to what you are asking for, and knows the path of least resistance to help you find your way there. You are the creator of your reality, and it is so much fun when you get in the driver's seat and really begin consciously understanding how to do it. So, what do you want to talk about? A lot of trouble in this room. Gonna have a wonderful day. Let's begin here on the aisle.